Hello friends, in our first demo, we have created one Spring Boot application. For that, first we created Java class and make it as a controller. We write one method in that class, that is subtract method, and expose this method as an API because we want to access it from browser or Postman. We use Spring Boot three-tier architecture for creating Spring Boot application. This three-tier architecture involves three layers: controller layer, service layer, and DAO layer. When we run application in Eclipse IDE and test it, means we access the API through Postman also. For building purpose, we use Maven as a build tool, which manages all the dependent jar files for us. We can add dependency in pom.xml file. We added all these dependency here. While creating basic web project, we added dependency as a Spring Web, that is Spring Boot Starter Web. This gives us some default Spring-based features. Thus, our standalone Java application become a web application or service. All the dependencies are here in Maven dependencies in the form of jar files. To manage all these jar files, we have Maven built in. Now this which we have in our local machine, we have to deploy it in AWS and test it in AWS. So our agenda is to run and deploy Java Spring Boot application on AWS EC2 machine. Because customer code is going to run in a cloud-based infrastructure like AWS, Azure, Google Cloud Platform. So through diagram we can understand it. So this is our local machine. In our local machine, we run Java application. This is Java code. We want to run it on a cloud-based infrastructure like Azure, AWS, Azure, GCP, Google Cloud Platform. This is a cloud-based infrastructure. So we want to run this Java code into this cloud-based infrastructure. So this is our agenda. Basically refers to server that are accessed over the internet and the software and database that run those server. Means server hosted on internet to store, manage and process the data. We don't need to purchase that RAM, device and CPU because cloud takes care of it. Now we will using AWS for the deployment. So we want to run the Spring Boot application in AWS. First we have to create AWS account from the site AWS Amazon.com. AWS free tier. I have already created account of AWS. You can create account from create an AWS account or sign into console. After sign in, this console window is shown like this. This is the console window. There We can choose any machine to run our Spring Boot application. These are all the services in which we can run our Spring Boot application. We have to choose region nearer to us. We choose Mumbai. Among all the services, we can use EC2, which is a virtual server in the cloud. Click on that. We choose EC2 Amazon service for running Spring Boot application. EC2 is a machine just like a laptop. Like while purchasing, we are looking for OS, RAM, CPU. Similarly, when we are trying to take EC2 machine on cloud, we need to check all these details. But it's virtually available on the cloud. We need to buy this machine, and then in this machine we need to run our Java Spring Boot application. This is our motto. So to get the machine in AWS, we search EC2, then click on that. Here no instances are running currently, so we will now creating instance. Click on instances. Instance is nothing but all these things like OS, RAM, CPU. We are trying to take virtual machine for us, where we will deploy our Java application and use it. So how to create instance? We close that instance filter, launch instances. Here we can give our server name, Demo2 server. Production and non-production system always either Linux, Unix or Red Hat operating system are utilized, but we are using Amazon Linux service here. Choose this. There are multiple options in Amazon Linux they have given, but we choose Amazon Linux to AMI HVM kernel 5.10.s the volume type. It's a free tier eligible. From that we can from that image there are many images of this Linux, Amazon Linux. From that images we can create our EC2 machine. This instance type. We can choose T2 micro. It's one CPU, 1 GB memory. It's a free tier eligible. We choose that. So we have created our machine in which we are going to run our application. Now we need to take the Java code, and this code has to deploy on AWS on EC2 machine. That is, we need to deploy that in AWS. We need to deploy this Java code in AWS and start the service in EC2 machine. Then our Spring Boot application is running. There is EC2 machine on which our Java application is running. There is a key pair login. Means for anybody outsider connecting to AWS, which can create a issue of security. So for securely connecting to EC2, there is option called as key pair logging. First, we create new key pair, give a name. Key pair type is ISA. File created after that is .pem. Create key pair. RSS is a secret key. Using this, we can connect to instance that is on EC2 machine. So one PEM file is created. We copy paste that file in our folder where we created our Java application. We copy paste that file here. We can copy this. Paste it in. Keep all these things by default. Then launch instance. It shows success. We successfully initiated launch of instance. This is our instance. Click on that. This is our instance is created. By clicking on this, all the details are shown here. Our instance is running now. So there are two processes while running our Spring Boot application, that is build and deploy process. First we need to understand that. First build involves two things, that first is compile project and second is building a jar file. And means deployment involves copying this jar file first in AWS EC2 machine, then restart the service in EC2 machine. So this is our build and deployment activity. But for building, There is one command which does this both works combinedly. So the command is clean package. Using clean package, it first compile the project and then build a jar file for us. Then we go to our IDE. First we will install and clean our project. Using install, we install all the dependencies that are mentioned in our form.xml file. Build success, then we clean and run our project. We can use clean package command also directly for compiling and building a jar file. You can skip tests. It will prepare a jar file. Prepare jar file in some target folder. This demo dash 0.0.1 dash snapshot is artifact ID, which is the output of project when we do clean package command. This is the build activity where we compile our Java code. We are doing Maven packaging. After that, it will prepare a jar file. Now we need to take the jar file from local machine and move into EC2 machine. So this is our agenda. So for building and deployment, we need to follow some steps. First, we have to connect to EC2 machine. Then we need to install Java. Copy jar file into EC2. And start application. These are the steps we have to follow to run our Java application into AWS. Now we are using one terminal, that is Movax term terminal. I have already installed it. One Movax term. Start local terminal. This is our local terminal. We need to check whether it's version of Java. This is Java 17 version in our local machine. Now we want to follow these steps. First, we need to connect to EC2 machine. For connection, there is one command. It is ssh hyphen I and location of PEM file. That is location of PEM file. Name of PEM file. Then EC2 user at the rate. I now we have to give the IP address of EC2 machine. Go to machine. Click on instance. This is the server IP. Public IP. We need to copy this and paste it here. So this is our command to securely connecting to EC2 machine. Copy this command. Go to mobexterm terminal. Paste. So our next step is connect to EC2 machine on AWS. These are four steps that I have mentioned. First, we need to connect to EC2 machine. This is the command to connect. SSH is for securely connecting. This is the keep here login.pem file location. EC2 user at the rate. This is by default user, and this is the server IP address on which our EC2 machine is running. So we copy this command, go to mobexterm terminal, Copy paste, enter. Is showing that Amazon Linux store means we are successfully connected to EC2 machine. Now we need to install Java. To install Java, this is the command sudo is for root user. To copy this, go to move extra, EC2 machine terminal, paste, run the command. I have already installed the Java. Check the version. JDK 17. This Java 17 version is installed on EC2 machine. Then we want the jar file which is on local machine onto EC2 machine. For this, scp command is used. Scp is for securely copying. This is the key pair login for security. The file we want to copy. Name of jar file. This is the IP on which we want to paste the file. This is the path of EC2 machine, that is location on which we want to copy that file. Copy this file, this command, paste it on local machine. %. Means our file is copied successfully. Go to EC2, check whether file is copied or not. The file is copied successfully. Now we want to run application. To run this application, we use this command. We need to run jar file. So copy and paste on EC2. Tom get started on port 8082. 80. Started the application. Now check it from Postman. Not able to send the request. Because using these endpoints, we can connect to cloud environment using Postman, but not getting any response. Because we are trying to access from outside. So we need to do some configuration. That is AWS security group. Go to AWS security. Here we need to edit the inbound rules. By default, port is 22, which supports the SCP and SSH command. That's why we are able to copy and connect to EC2. So we need to edit this inbound rules. Go to security groups, edit inbound rules, add rule, enter the port which we want to access from which location, which IP. We choose this means we are able to access it from anywhere. This port can be accessible from everywhere. Save rule. Then check it from Postman. Output is shown. Means we are successfully able to run Java Spring Boot application on AWS in EC2 machine.